G'day there guys, Markee here, and I'm showing the haters how it's done by hating myself the most. Welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. I hope you enjoy your stay today. Tell me what you think about it down in the comments, and enjoy the show. Posted by user Girlfriend Restaurants, titled, Am I the a-hole for very rarely / almost never wanting to go to restaurants because my girlfriend makes food that's just as good, if not better than restaurant food? I've been with my wonderful girlfriend for a few years now, and we usually get along great, aside from this current issue. She's a self-proclaimed foodie, which I honestly think is just selling herself short. She's a food genius. She can taste and smell a dish and then turn around and recreate it, or even make it better than the original. If you taste something and wonder, what's that super subtle flavor, she'll tell you. It's anchovy paste, sumac, lavender, or some other obscure spice that you would never even think of. When someone is cooking something and they go, it's missing something, she can tell you exactly what it needs. It doesn't stop there. She knew I had touched a diesel truck at work one morning as soon as I walked into the house that night because she could somehow smell it on me. It's either really cool or really creepy depending on the day. That's not it either. She heard about a lost family recipe, and the next week, bam! I'm eating my grandmother's homemade sausage again for the first time in 15 years. It's gotten to the point where I don't see any point in going out to eat, pretty much ever, except maybe her birthday. Even the most exotic ingredients aren't out of her reach either, and even though it's not about cost, I've saved up more being with her than I ever have in any other relationship. The only places we really go for date night is ramen. She can't figure out how to make the noodles, but she still tries, so it's just a matter of time, and sushi. Our anniversary was recently, and I had noticed that our local fish counter was selling sushi-grade fish, along with the rolling mats and nori. So I suggested that we have a homemade sushi for our anniversary dinner before going out, and she got upset and said, I'm not learning how to make sushi because then I'll never get a real date ever again. We ended up going out instead. It kinda took me by surprise that she got so mad though. She has lightly mentioned wanting to go out occasionally to places like Olive Garden because she likes the red sauce, or other places because she likes the food. And now that I'm thinking about it, she's gotten kinda gloomy because I've asked her to cook on date nights instead of going out more often. She also brought up that food she cooks tastes better to me because she's tasting and smelling it while it cooks, so her senses are dulled by the time it's served. But she has the most acute sense of smell and taste I've ever seen, so I kinda think it's just an excuse. I just don't think it's worth it to go out and pay restaurant food prices, when we can stay home for home food prices and have food that's just as excellent. TLDR, so Reddit, am I the a-hole for not wanting to pay a restaurant to cook my meals because I practically have a private chef of my very own? Edit, it's not about the financial aspect of staying home versus going out. I just thought that it was worth mentioning because it's been more of a saving than expected. If it's not, then why do you keep bringing it up? If you keep saying it, obviously we're gonna take that into consideration. You've said it like 3 times in this post. Man, I saved so much money, but it's not about the money. Man, it's so great staying home and saving money, but it's not about the money. Don't forget, it's not the money. I do like money. And why the hell do you never cook? Why is she always cooking? Do you not have the ability to cook for yourself and make your own meals? Just because she cooks so well doesn't mean it's not impossible for you to cook, buddy. How has she been okay with this whole time? I honestly think you've grinded it to the point that if I were her, I'd probably be very miserable at this point. She realizes that sushi is the last bastion of date nights, and you're trying to take that away from her too. What's wrong with you? Have you no self-awareness? Have you no foresight to see that the future holds crappy food for yourself when she leaves you? Because you deserve it at this point if you continue and don't change. You are such an a-hole and you don't realize it. You need to do a 180 now and fix the damage you've done. I'm surprised this hasn't caused arguments and fights. I'm surprised she has so much bullshit that she can deal with. Edit 2. I'm taking her out tonight to grovel, guys. I'm also going to politely ask that, if she finds this off of Twitter, please don't smother me in my sleep for being such a dick. Edit 3. No, Twitter, I don't buy her flowers. Thanks for rubbing it in. I buy her herbs and succulents. What flowers do I buy a woman who likes to preserve them afterward? Also, yes, I wash the dishes. Final edit. Okay guys, this will probably be my last edit. This post exploded unexpectedly, and I've tried to respond to as many comments as I can, but there's just too many of you. If you've asked me a direct question and I haven't answered, I'm sorry. My inbox is a mess. I really took everything you guys have said to heart, and I can honestly say that I've been an arse, and it's really hurt my relationship with my girlfriend. It's honestly a surprise that she's still my girlfriend after everything. So her mum picked up the girls, and I took her out to a really nice tapas restaurant. She was very excited and seemed to enjoy herself, and I apologized for being stupid. After, we took a walk and everything seemed perfect, so I asked her to marry me. She said no. She did it kindly, but she still said no. She said that it wasn't a forever no, but she didn't want to commit to a one-sided relationship, and also said she doesn't think that it's fair that our relationship happens on my schedule or my terms. I'm pretty heartbroken. I thought everything was pretty okay between us, but she thinks we should go to a premarital or pre-engagement counseling, and the division of labor needs to change over a serious sit-down conversation. So Reddit, you were all right. I'm the a-hole who almost lost the love of my life, and most of you are right. It wasn't over restaurants. Good lord. Completely you're the a-hole. Read the last line, dude. You said you have your own private chef. Do you think your wife wants to cook every single night for you? Hell no. She makes sacrifices of her time every time she cooks for you, which sounds like a lot. So why can't you sacrifice some of your time to take her out and possibly show her thanks for the things she does for you? Jeez, man, you're being thick. Maybe that's why she got upset at the thought of never being taken out for dinner again. And I feel like you should bring this up with her directly if it's upsetting you. Maybe tell her you love her cooking more than any restaurant food, and she'll love the sentiment and wants to cook more. Or maybe she'll say she needs a break from cooking sometimes. Just talk to her. Or maybe go further than just telling her you love her food and show it. Get another old family recipe from your grandparents or parents and buy the ingredients and tell her you want to learn how to make it. When you say she knows exactly what the recipe is missing, ask what flavor profile she is detecting. Get involved. You'll still save money as groceries are cheaper than restaurants, but you have to contribute to both the creation and the cleanup of the meal. Otherwise, she will feel like a private chef instead of girlfriend. And take her to Olive Garden once in a while. It's inexpensive, and who doesn't love breadsticks? Even better if you make it a project with her to try and duplicate some of their dishes at home. Edit 2. OP took her out to a restaurant to apologize, and then proposed immediately after without showing any real behavior change? Damn, the balls on this guy. I don't know if this is an a-hole move, or the OP is just really clueless. Dude literally called her his private chef. I hope she doesn't already feel that way. I'm afraid she does. She just wants to be treated like a girlfriend. Take her out, man, crap. You're the a-hole. You don't have a private chef. You have a girlfriend, who I assume is doing all the work on the grocery shopping, meal planning, cooking front, while you reap the benefits. I seriously hope you're helping to clean up the kitchen after dinner at the very least. I also hope since she's doing all of that work, you've picked up the slack in other areas of housework. She wants a night off for date night. That's not unreasonable. I got so angry reading this, because I basically am the girlfriend. I cook difficult and delicious food because the restaurants around me suck and are expensive. But instead of her situation, luckily I'm married to someone who doesn't take advantage of me. Of note, this guy mentions doing the dishes but hasn't mentioned helping besides. If she's preparing lots of food from scratch, I can tell you that crap takes massive amounts of prep work. Work that anyone can do. Work he isn't doing. I refer to my husband, half jokingly, as my favorite sous chef. I have the time and energy to cook at a high level because he helps me so much. I cannot imagine working so hard for someone who doesn't help. No, doing the dishes isn't an equivalent amount of work, and then uses my work as a tool to save money on expenses. If she'd been OP, I'd tell her to DTMFA.
Ditch that mofo already. Get him out of here. No scrubs.
She's your girlfriend, you jack-off, not your fudging beast of burden. Update. Am I the a-hole for very rarely / almost never wanting to go to restaurants because my girlfriend makes food that's just as good, if not better, than restaurant food? A few months ago, I posted this post asking if I was an a-hole for not wanting to take my girlfriend out to restaurants. It blew up. It ended up on Twitter, and people shared it on Facebook. The general consensus was that yes, I am the a-hole, and it just went downhill from there. A couple people told me to kill myself, so thanks for that. More than a couple people told me that they hoped my girlfriend broke up with me. Well, after I posted and proposed and was rejected, things got pretty awkward between us for the first time in 5 years. She started to get snappy at me easily. She stopped being as affectionate to me. She started making pretty much nothing but casserole. Everything changed. To clarify, she usually liked to make more involved food than casserole. Then one day, like 3 weeks ago, she threw down the spoon she was using to serve the 1000th casserole this month and snipped at me. Do you seriously fudging think that I actually like eating at Olive Garden? Guys, she saw the post. She was furious. She doesn't like Olive Garden. She'll eat there because the kids love it and it's cheap. I was right about the red sauce being non-acidic, but, well, in her words, she never developed a taste for pasta. She's Latino. Do I ever see her make pasta? No. A meal isn't complete without rice. You don't know me at all. She yelled about Olive Garden for a solid 20 minutes. It wasn't just about Olive Garden, but it was a lot about Olive Garden. Long story short, we've been separated for a few weeks now, and it's not looking good. She loves and respects me, but feels it's best for her to respectfully disengage from me for her own personal betterment. So yeah, TLDR, I ruined my family by not appreciating my girlfriend. I didn't take her out on dates and I didn't pay enough attention. I would do anything to fix everything. Edit, to clarify a few things. 1, I didn't post on April 1st. 2, I say that she yelled about mostly Olive Garden because she did. She was really embarrassed that a bunch of people on the internet were making fun of her over Olive Garden, where the kids are catered to. And 3, she did not call herself Latino. She called herself Latinx or Latinx, but I thought Latino would be less confusing. Guess it just makes me look like a dick. Sadly, you're the a-hole still. I'm sorry for your situation, man, really, but it's hard for me to be too sympathetic. From your post, the impression I'm getting is your girlfriend was still cooking every day, just now she wasn't cooking your favorite meals every time, but casserole instead. It boggles my mind how you went through that whole fight. People here told you were being an ass. You seemed to realize how one-sided the relationship was, and you still let her cook. She rejected a marriage proposal and suggested counseling for folks' sake, and it never occurred to you that maybe she's cooking casserole because you hadn't changed one bit and she was doing less to prove a point. The way you talk about being fed casserole for the 1000th time, as if you're serving time in purgatory instead of being fed by a loving girlfriend, is insane to me. In an ideal world, communication in a relationship is clear and distinct, but sometimes people don't want to have to tell you to pick up the slack. It's irritating and kind of humiliating at times to have to clearly spell out what your needs are, especially when the solution is so obvious. You have to learn to read your partner and their actions. I hope you learn that for your next relationship. And for over a month she was distant, less affectionate and snappy, and he just did nothing? Until she confronted him, he just resigned himself to lowly home-cooked casseroles and a rocky relationship. Like, dude, the one thing you had to do was step up to the bare fudging minimum, and you couldn't do it. One thing I didn't realize from the first post as I hadn't seen in the final update is that they apparently have kids as well. Not that we need any more reasons to be unsympathetic, but this makes things even worse. I just hoped and assumed that OP was a young adult without kids because of the immaturity. I really hope this post isn't real for the sake of everyone involved. The casserole part is just too ridiculous, lol. If they have kids, it's worse. She's cooking for 3 to 4 plus people every day, multiple meals. But he's like, I do the dishes though. Sounds like the fact you loved her cooking means that you were ignoring that she might have wanted to be treated once in a while. It sucks, but that's what happens when you take someone for granted. You're the a-hole. This happened to my wife and I when we moved to a new country. The restaurants kind of sucked and I'm a good cook, so we usually ate at home. But that meant she got what she wanted, meal-wise, but I did not. We had to agree to start going out 1 to 2 times a month. Posted by user SecretiveGF and Sis, titled, Am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend I knew his sister was planning on losing her virginity? Boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. He knows my account, so I needed to make a throwaway for this. His sister is 17, I am 24, and boyfriend is 27. His sister came to me recently asking for advice when losing a virginity and a couple other things, and she made it really clear she was planning on losing it with her current boyfriend. I gave her all the best advice I could and told her to make sure to be safe, etc. I went with her to the doctor to get her on birth control, but also made sure to tell her to use a condom for the first few times just in case. Don't want any extra worries on her mind. A couple days later, she sends me a text saying it went really well, but was very vague about it all. Which I'm glad about. It's her personal life at the end of the day. I told her I was happy for her, and that's it. The messages were very vague in terms of the actual experience, but you can definitely tell what she was talking about, as she said she used a condom plus a whole lot of lube. Boyfriend found the messages on my phone and is livid. He's been so angry at me, saying his sister's life is none of my concern, and I should have put a stop to it and not encouraged it. He's not overly protective of his sister, but I can understand the worries as the eldest brother. I tried to calm him, but he's very upset with me, saying I allowed his younger sister to have sex when I shouldn't have. He went on a tangent about her being way too young, and in my opinion she isn't. I also can't dictate what she does and doesn't do, but he won't listen to me, and talking about how I am such a bad influence for helping her. Reddit, am I the a-hole in this situation or not? Truthfully, I just wanted to help her out, but now I'm second-guessing myself. No, it's her body, she came to you for advice because she needed it, you gave her advice. How the hell can he dictate her sex life and tell you that you have to dictate her sex life as well? Legitimately toxic, abusive male vibes coming off there. And that's not just the stereotypical, toxic masculinity bullcrap. No, that's real, that's actual toxic abuse right there. That's someone you want to be scared of. If I was the younger sister, I would be scared of that brother. He's not looking out for my best interests. He's looking at controlling me and what I do and who I can have sex with and when I can have sex, and I'm not allowed to have freedoms in that world. That's not a world I want to be part of. Jesus, I can see why she would probably never go to him for advice. That's just, no, that's no. OP, not the a-hole. Edit, wow, thanks guys. I'm really appreciating all the support. It's nice to read. I'll be having a conversation with boyfriend soon if he doesn't pipe down. Not the a-hole. His sister's reproductive decisions are not his business. You did right. I think she did well in helping her, to be honest. Even going to the doctor and stuff. I'm sure his sister is glad to have someone she can talk to about this. Absolutely. 2 options. She gets someone's help, or she kinda wings it, which obviously has the bigger chance of catastrophic events attached to it. Exactly. When I was 17, my best friend who lived next door came over to talk to my mum about birth control because she was planning on losing her virginity to her boyfriend. Her own mum had kind of fearmongered her about what could happen if she lost her virginity as a teenager, and she knew her mum wouldn't help her in finding birth control. My mum is a physician and was able to talk to my friend about her options concerning birth control. While my friend did eventually end things with the guy she lost her virginity to, I know my friend had no regrets about it, not even one letter, and was very grateful she had someone to go to for information concerning protection for safe sex. I'm also really happy OP's boyfriend's sister was able to have someone who she could talk to about this as well. Not the a-hole. For God's sake, she's 17. Your boyfriend needs to pipe it down a notch and be happy that you were there to guide her as much as you could. That's a whole lot better than the quote-unquote sex talk my high school gave us about how women who had sex are like used pieces of tape. What? What? They told us that women are beautiful, fresh piles of snow, and when you step in snow, it gets all dirty and ugly, and you wouldn't want your husband to step in dirty snow, would you? Ignoring the cruel misogyny, I don't even understand that metaphor. It wouldn't bother me if my husband, or indeed anyone, stepped in dirty snow. I bet most people who step in snow step in dirty snow. It's not like I'd marry a man dumb enough to walk around in the snow barefoot when boots exist. Maybe this was a too subtle lesson about wearing condoms? Also, I hope not even a teeny tiny part of you believes any of their nonsense. You do you and anyone else you want to, with enthusiastic consent, and don't let anyone tell you it makes you less worthwhile. Those people are dummies. Not the a-hole. It sounds like you gave her reasonable advice and your boyfriend has unrealistic expectations of you. She came straight to you, and telling your boyfriend would have violated that trust. It would not have been your place to tell her not to have sex, and honestly, she probably would have done it anyway. He goes through your phone, and you're worried about you being the a-hole? Edit to add not the a-hole, 'cause duh. Really good point. OP, he sounds controlling and a bit creepy. Be safe, please. Update, am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend I knew his sister was planning on losing her virginity? Hey again, guys. Thank you all so much for the advice and support you gave me when I first posted here. It made me feel a lot better about the situation, and it was nice to have so many people agree with me. So, thanks so much. My boyfriend unfortunately never calmed down about the situation. He saw it as a huge betrayal and was furious with me for days. At least a week, to be honest, and it's only been 11 days since I posted. I showed him the post and he said that you're all wrong, lol. And he also said it was weird I had posted this on Reddit in the first place. It actually just made him even angrier. After I tried to explain to him why I wanted to help his sister, he kept belittling me and telling me how wrong I was, and he wouldn't listen. I gave up trying to explain anything, but unfortunately he never piped down. He became physically and emotionally aggressive towards me one night, so I decided to end the relationship yesterday. I thought I owed you all at least an update. I will keep in contact with his sister and mother, who I love dearly, but ultimately I can't forgive him for his behavior. Thank you so much for the advice, guys. And this one got locked right off the bat, so there's no comments. It actually made me tear up a bit when I first read that one because I could not believe that he would get to that stage of being physically and emotionally violent, but hey, you know, there's just people like that out there in the world. That's all there is to say. Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from these stories. Just want to say a quick shout out to my Patreon subscribers and my channel members. You guys should be on the screen right now. If you do see yourself, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for being amazing and supporting me on this channel, this little journey we're going on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, and you guys enabled me to do all this amazing work. So if you do see yourself, I love your face and I'm happy to see you. Also guys, if you want to pitch in your own support, you don't have to, but channel links are down in the description below to support the Patreon, the channel membership, whatever you want to do. It's kind of like tipping me if you feel like I'm doing a good job on this channel. I will be opening up avenues for content on those in the future. Just right now I'm kind of bogged down and stuck in Ireland, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway guys, with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful day today. Whatever you're up to, I'd love to know down in the comments below. I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep. Whatever you're up to today, tell me, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.